Yo, AJ Cole signing, Colton Miller, Tyree Wilson, Jacoby Myers, and of course, more of the roster. All that and more, you know, on that Raider Unleashed show.
Artlist.io.
I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step. I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets. Cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocket here and stopping here.
Music licensing reimagined.
We gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell 'em I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no. Aiming for the top, can't make it by myself. I ain't taking no loss. I ain't taking no loss. Look, come on, always win. I ain't taking no loss. Look, come on, always win. We already know that we the coldest. Watch me heat it up, let me focus. I'm going toe to toe with foes. I know they notice. I kick in doors, they only hope for closing. Right? Cause they know I go again. And when they get it dry, I'm the one that can make it flow again. Talk to me nice, my team they ready to go again.
Music licensing reimagined.
We don't talk, better know the grind gon' match my walk. I'm a cheat code, I don't take no loss. Making no sense, run up the scope. Cause all I do is win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell 'em I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no. Aiming for the top, can't make it by myself. I ain't taking no loss. I ain't taking no loss. Look, come on,
Artlist.io.
win. I ain't taking no loss. Look, come on, always win. I'm winning again and again and again, and it's all on repeat. I'ma just sit at the top 'cause I'm running it, dog. For me, I don't know defeat. Had to get back on the phone. I told them don't play with my name 'cause I know that it rings. They want my spot at the top with I'ma always win.
Yo, what it do? Welcome to the Unleashed Raider channel. No, I'm kidding. Raiders Unleashed, baby. Appreciate everybody already in the building. Unleashing Addiction. My guy JC in the building. I'm just gonna call you JC because I always probably get it wrong. So, a lot to talk about. The AJ Cole sign-in. Let me know what y'all think. AJ Cole, 4 years, locked down for the Raiders. I believe a great sign-in, one of the best kickers in the NFL. Had a little bit of struggle last year, but the whole entire team struggled. So I'm not bueno. What it do? So I believe it was a good sign-in. Locked him down for another 4 years. We don't have to worry about a punter. We don't have to worry about the Raiders drafting one in the first round. Which been known to draft kickers in the first round, right? Also, Colton Miller, one of our top guards since he's been on the roster, right? Since he's been on the team. What do we do with Colton Miller? Do we sign him before the season starts? Do we sign him mid-season? Do we let him play out this year with no guaranteed money after coming off an injury? I don't believe the Raiders will do that to Colton Miller. So we'll get into that a little bit more. And then Jacoby Myers, man. What do we do with a guy that had 0 drops in the NFL? We've talked about it before. I can't remember any other receivers having 0 drops in a season. Truly remarkable. And, it doesn't get talked about enough. In my opinion, how special this man is to this team, to Raider Nation, to the franchise. A guy that does all the dirty work and still finds a way to get open, whether he's your number 1 guy, your number 2 guy, whether he's in the slot, whether he's running reverses. It doesn't matter. He does all the dirty work, all the little stuff. So a guy like Jacoby Myers, to me, man, just pay the man his money. I don't know what the holdup is. You know, we have the money. Again, is it something that happens before the season? Is it something that happens mid-season? Is it something that happens at the end of the season? Or we'll get into that here in a bit. So, what I do. Appreciate everybody dropping in. I'm not bueno. What's good? How do you do that, Jason? I don't know how he does that. That's pretty sick, though. Little King number 1, number 3, number 2. Why is those on there? I'm confused. What's going on with my chat? What y'all do to my chat? Number 2, number 1, number 3. Get it. I don't know. I guess the first couple of viewers get one. Sweet. Hey, well, shout out to the first couple of viewers, or the first couple of, I don't know. Oh shit, here we go. Yeah, see, that's weird. Because Piano is in the chat and he don't have one. All right, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But just another distraction I need, because every time I look over there, I see numbers with crowns on them. But shout out to 1, 2, and 3 in the building, however that works out. Well, yeah, AJ Cole, man. What do you guys think about AJ Cole? Let me know in the chat. Y'all feel that, you know, he's getting up there? Last year, kind of off season, you know, off year for him. He had a couple of punts that usually don't happen, but then he had some, you know, we seen him doing his little walk, Conor McGregor style, strutting his stuff. We know he's, you know, always been top punter in the league. So to me, I think it's absolutely worth it keeping these guys in-house. And I think it shows the rest of the guys in the building, right, that, you know, if you're here, if you put in the work, if you put in the time, if you're a leader in the building, you're going to get rewarded, right? You're going to get rewarded. And I think a lot of players in the past have been scared in this organization, you know, coming in, grinding, putting in the work, and being overlooked. And I don't think that's happening anymore. I think with the staff we have, with Pete Carroll, with the guys he's put in around him, you know, guys are being watched constantly. And if you're putting in the work, if you're grinding, you know, if you're first one in the building, last one to leave, it's going to be seen, right? It's already been talked about by Pete Carroll over and over and over again. Hey, it actually made a noise this time. Sweet. I don't know why it just started working, but whatever. We'll go with it. So yeah, right? They're sending the message. They're sending the message. If you're all about football, if you're constantly in the building, you don't have to live in the building, but you got to be there when everybody else is, right? You got to be a leader in the building. You got to be showing the youngsters the ropes. You know, for AJ Cole, it's kind of difficult. There's not, you know, too many young kickers. We haven't brought in any kickers in a long time. These guys pretty much have it sewed up. But you can still teach the young guys, you know, what it means to be an NFL player, the ins and outs, the ropes. He's been in the organization for a long time, so, you know, welcome back AJ Cole for another 4 years. Let me get to this chat before it gets out of hand. People always bitching. Hawaiian Candy, what's good? What's good? No, I didn't speak it. I seen it. I seen it. I didn't speak it. Somebody else might have. I don't know what the crown is. I got 75 XP somehow. tweet. I don't know what's going on, but I'll figure it out. Awesome signing. He is legit. Carson struggled. Man, let's talk about that for a minute, right? What do we do with Daniel Carlson? Is it time that we start maybe looking in the draft to bring in another guy to push this guy? You know, he struggled before he got to the Raiders, and then he was lights out when he got here, right? For a long, long time. Last year, man, 3 misses in the Kansas City game. Our arch rivals, right? The defending Super Bowl champs. And you miss 3 field goals? That hurts. That hurts the team. You know, he only missed, I believe, 6 last year. But that's more than he's missed, I think, in 2 years or 3 years combined. Now, we usually see him miss, 2 or 3. I get that. Most kickers do. Sometimes, the weather, the wind, whatever the situation is, it's way too far. They didn't get enough on it. I understand that. But Daniel Carlson did have struggles last year, and I believe it cost us some games. So let me know in the chat, what do y'all think about Daniel Carlson? Is it time, that we start looking in free agency maybe to have another kicker in the building just in case? I mean, or to have that competition, because the Raiders they want competition, right, at every position. And I believe, as far as I know, the kicker, field goal kicker and punter is a position, right? Is it not? Let me know in the chat. Is that not a position? So if you want competition at every position, shouldn't you have another kicker in the building? Shouldn't you have another punter in the building? Maybe not through the whole year, but at least in camp, right? I don't think we had one last year. I don't think we had one the year before. And I'll have to look that up. I'm not going to do it right this second, but I'm going to have to look that up because, I mean, it leaves the question, right? If you're wanting competition at every single position, why isn't there another field goal kicker or another punter in the building? You never know. You could find a diamond in the rough. Wait, where the fuck's Bueno's thing at? What the hell? What's going on? All right. I didn't change anything that I know of, so I don't know what's up with the crown shit. People got crowns, people losing crowns. Shit, I don't know. Thought I was the only king in this chat, and I was fucking. I'm not a Barbie. I never said I was his queen. LOL. Shit. Right? Come on, Piano Man. I don't know where all the crowns went. I was just Hawaiian candy. Oh, Silver's got another one. This is weird. Fucking up my chat. I love the little Raider symbols in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to all the Green Tree members. Rosetown, it's been a minute. Appreciate you. Tierra. Stop. I think the crown is who messages more. All right, we'll go with that. Killer in the building. Been a minute. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Let me catch up on this chat. Carlson in his final year. Let's see how he looks, but definitely struggled last season. AJ Cole always delivered. Kenny manipulated the system and stole the crown from the other guys, right? What the hell is going on? I don't know. I have to research this crown shit. My chat is royalty. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to the royalty chat. That's what we're talking about here. All royalty. So yeah, man. Daniel Carlson in his final year. you know, do we sign him to another contract? Or who said it? Who said it? As Rosetown said, you know, his final year, do we see what he has and then, you know, bring somebody in? But I was kind of shocked that they didn't bring somebody in this year with the struggles he had. And they weren't even from, you know, crazy distances, right? They were from makeable distances for Daniel Carlson. So I find that very surprising that they didn't at least bring in another guy to push everybody. If they're talking, if they're talking competition, they've been preaching all summer, since these guys have been brought in the building. Why the flip do I keep saying It's getting on my nerves. I've been watching too much Josh McDaniels film. Rebel upgraded to that unlimited YouTube. I don't know what happened. I ain't affording to upgrade the shit. LOL, Rosetown, he's a working man. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, man, and then it brings the question. Like I said, it brings the question: is it time to look at another kicker? If he struggles this year, do we bring somebody in free agency? At what point do you be like, yo, knees duts, what's good? So I was reading that as I was looking. But what point do we be like, all right, man, we might have to bring somebody in for more competition or take a look? I believe Daniel Carlson is going to get back to form. I think last year, everybody struggled. I think he still led the Raiders in points. So, but 6 misses in a season where a guy used to have 2 or 3, you have to start having questions. At least I did. Shout out to these ice drinks, man. I swear. This orange mango shit is fire. What's good? Alex M, appreciate you popping in. These duds, salute. So yeah, man, I think it would be good to maybe start looking at some kickers just in case. But I thought it would, like I said, it would have been nice to have a guy in camp just to take a look at, right? To see what you have. There's a lot of rugby guys coming in. There's a lot of young kickers that weren't drafted. Some of these kids had some damn good years in college. And Al's Ghost, what's good? Salute to you. It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt to bring in a kicker just to bring in a field goal kicker to take a look. You never know when we can find that guy in the future. But next up, Colton Miller, man. Colton Miller. I've talked about it before. Graded high, his 3rd, 4th year in a row where he's graded 80% or higher from PFF. Even with the injuries, if you didn't see, fucking this shit is pissing me off. If you didn't see the live today between Wasted Talent and the Violator, Violator wasn't on there. I wouldn't be shouting out most channels. Violator was on there. Go check it out. Great interview. Love when this man is on there. He was an inspiration. Big reason why I think a lot of us, older generation, or some of you younger, generations, even became Raider fans. You see him at every Raider game, in the stands, showing up, showing out. So go check out the interview if you haven't already. But he brought up a damn good point, that Colton Miller's injury, whatever side it was on, left or right, is where the defensive ends were attacking, right? They constantly attacked the injured side. And like he said, right, in a battle, if a guy's wounded, you take advantage of that injury. If you're bleeding, a shark in the water, right? Shark's going to smell blood in the water. So if you have an injury, the right thing to do for the other team is to try to exploit that weakness. And I think that's what a lot of teams did last year against Colton Miller. He gave up 14 pressures after week 6. 14 pressures. That's 1 a game. He also gave up 7 sacks in the first 6 games He wasn't healthy, I know. But teams, like I said, exploited that weakness. And are the Raiders, looking to see if this guy has not lost a step? They want to see a full camp where he's in shape, coming in healthy, ready to go, being that leader in the building, helping these young guys grow, adjust to the NFL, adjust to the speed of the NFL, adjust to the strength of the guys in the NFL, which is huge for some of these guys on the offensive line. It's just different. It's just different. Excuse me. Damn. So, I believe that's what it is. I believe, Spytek has referenced before. He wants to get to know the guys in the building, right? He's not just going to go sign guys that have been on the team for a long time to new contracts until he gets to know the player. Not just on the field, but off the field. So maybe that's it with him and Jacoby Myers. He doesn't really know these guys. He's got to get to know their work ethic, know the person, know what he brings to the team, how they work when they're in the building, right? How the other guys feel about them. Spytek's not just signing anybody. It's perfectly clear to me that this man knows what he's doing. And like I said a couple lives ago, I believe this man is here to stay for a long, long time. I love what Spytek is doing. If y'all love what Spytek is doing, can I get a thumbs up in the chat? Can y'all hit them like buttons also if you haven't already? Subscribe to the channel if you're new and watching. Appreciate you. But Colton Miller, yeah, I believe that, I don't think it's going to be before the year starts, but I believe somewhere in the middle of the year, if he's performing up to his ability, if he's not giving up pressures like he was last year because he was injured, and he shows that, he hasn't lost a step, that he's still the Colton Miller that he has been, a dominating tackle. Appreciate you, I'm not bueno, a dominating top 10, 15 tackle, however you want to put it, in the NFL since he's been on the Raiders, right? He's been up there. Don't know why he hasn't been in more Pro Bowls, but, I don't make those decisions. Obviously, he didn't get enough votes from us, which is horrible. Appreciate you, Alex M, with a thumbs up. So, yeah, that's my take on Colton Miller. I believe, like Spytek said, just wants to get to know the guy in the building, know who he's signing for long term, right? Is it that guy? Is he a leader? Is it worth that guy? Or is there somebody that they drafted last year or the year before, or somebody that's in the building, that maybe they think can take that spot and they don't have to pay that guy, right? Somebody on a rookie contract, somebody that's been in the league maybe 2-3 years, has 1 or 2 years left on his rookie deal. If they believe maybe that guy could be that guy, then maybe they don't sign Colton Miller. But I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe he's earned it. He's proven over and over again that he deserves, the money. He played last year. If they make him play this whole year, choose what's good. If they make him play this whole year without paying him, with no guaranteed money, I think that might be a problem. And it's not a look that you want to show to the rest of your players, right? Guys that are putting in the effort, guys that are, playing hurt, because he wasn't 100% at the beginning of the year, right? He didn't even start training camp. He had no training camp. So he wasn't in football shape until probably week 6, right? It takes a long time to get in football shape. So that's my take on Colton Miller. I believe the man will get signed. He will get his money for the Las Vegas Raiders if he performs, like he usually does. Now, if he shows that he might be losing a step, the injury might, be taking some away. Maybe that footwork isn't what it used to be, because let's be honest with Colton Miller. He has never been the most athletic offensive lineman. He's an anchor. He's a good, solid corner piece. He does what he has to do, but he's not the fastest. He's not the strongest. He's not the most athletic. He's just consistent at what he does and damn good at his job. So after injuries, guys do slow down. Bigger guys like that, it's hard to come back from injuries. Just look at what Christian Wilkins is dealing with. And I know a shoulder to a foot injury is night and day Dixon Cider was good, was good. Um, like I said, a shoulder injury to a foot injury is night and day between these cats. So hopefully a year in training camp, right? A full year with this team, a full year in a new offense, which he learned a new offense last year. Didn't have a full year in the offense. So hopefully for Colton Miller in this offense, all through camp, getting snaps, getting to know the guys next to him, whoever that's going to be. We'll talk about that here in a bit. Dylan Parham. Is it going to be Dylan Parham? Is it going to be Jordan Meredith and Kappa on the other side? Are one of these young bucks like Rogers going to step up and take that spot? Is somebody that's been on the team, for a while, maybe step up and take that spot? Or one of these UDFA cats? There's a lot of offensive linemen and a lot of athletic, fast, speedy offensive linemen. And don't worry, we'll get in Tyree Wilson. That's going to be a last, because it's going to take a little bit. Get back to this chat real quick before it gets wild and I get out of control. I think I'm already past everybody. Damn. All right, Rebel upgraded. Got that. Rosetown good. Matt Jones is looking like Max's little brother in OTAs. Shout out to my guy Alex M. I agree. I've seen my man out there running around, hustling. No, I don't know what he's doing in the weight room. I don't know if he's, one of those first cats in the building, one of the last ones to leave. But yo, I agree. Matt Jones is out there working, boy. He's putting in that work. So we need speedy linebackers that can cover. We need cats that are fast, that can get to the hashes, that can cover these running backs out of the backfield. We've been lacking that for a long, long time. I loved Robert Spillane. He was a damn good linebacker when it came to blitzing, rushing the quarterback, stopping the run up the middle. Things they didn't ask him to do as much as they should have. They had him in coverage way too much because we didn't have depth. I believe we have a little bit more depth at linebacker. And yes, I would love to see a kid like Matt Jones, come out and start balling out, bro. Video quality is great. Appreciate it. What else we got? Bring in Tucker, LOL. Trey Tucker? What are you talking about? Elaborate on that, Rosetown. Bring in Tucker. I don't know what you mean. Colton. I think keep him happy. Add some guaranteed money. 2 more seasons. Yeah. I don't know if it'd make him happy. I think he wants to be here a little bit longer. I think Colton Miller knows that good things are coming in this organization. I think Colton Miller, and good point, Alex. I think Colton Miller has been in this organization long enough that he's seen the bad, he's seen the ups, he's seen the downs, and he's got to feel like I felt, and like Violator was talking about. I was around for the Super Bowl in '83, right? I was around for the Super Bowl run we lost. I've been around for a lot of ups and downs. And the feeling this year and last year, last year had a different feeling. I'm not going to lie. I talked about it a lot. There was, that culture back. It was that culture, that Raiders mentality was starting to come back. And it had been a long, long time since it had been here. And this year, it's just growing. It's a different kind of culture, a different mentality. But I think a better, a more intense, a more physical, type of mentality in this organization. So I think Colton Miller sees what is to come, how we're on the upward trajectory, and I think he wants to be here for the long haul. Now, a 2-year, maybe prove it deal. I don't know if you could say prove it deal for what he's done for the Raiders. I think he's proved it enough. But if you're going to sign the guy, I don't know, what is he, 28? 4 years doesn't really look too bad for me. You just signed AJ Cole 4 years. You know, give him 4 years, give him that money. I think this year he was getting $14 million or something a year, while other cats are getting upwards of 22 to 25. So he's done a lot for this franchise. I think he's earned, to play here. But the main thing, and like I said, I think they want to see it. The main thing is if he's healthy. But if they sign him for a 2-year deal, guaranteed bunch of money, it doesn't hurt our books, right? It doesn't hurt the salary cap. And if he's happy with that and signs it, then shit, I'm happy with that. I'm not gonna argue. I don't know what that is. I can't see it. Give me a minute. Unleashing addiction with the $3 devil horns. Why you give me devil horns? Dixon Cider $1.99. Prayers for Piano Man. Shout out to the shout out to Dixon Cider with the $1 holler for Piano Man. See, Piano Man, they do love you here. Shit. I gotta catch up to this chat real fast, man. That got me fucked up. Talk about Joy Taylor getting exposed by Stud. Wait, what? I don't know what that's about. I'm thinking GM waiting on Jacoby situation until next off season. Yeah. Till the end of the season. Man, if you want to keep him happy, we'll get into that. Jacoby Myers. It's next on the list. Piano Man, what the fuck are you even saying? Who knows? Colton did good for us and a loyal Raider. I agree 100%. You see this chat or on Rebel screen? LOL. You chat. I'm confused. I see the chat. Jordan Meredith. That's what I'm talking about, man. I don't see how Meredith loses this job. One of our highest rated guards, like I said, one of the highest graded offensive linemen last year, with over 500 snaps. Man, this dude come out and played his ass off. So I don't think Jordan Meredith is giving up this job. It's gonna take 2-3 different defensive linemen and a bunch of rookies to try to uproot this dude from this anchor position that I think he's locking down at the right guard spot. But if they move him to left guard, he played there just fine also. I'm not mad at that either. What else we got? No bueno. Look up Sherlock Underrock, man. Man, what the fuck are you talking about? For sure, bro. The screen will do for me. Can you not see it on the? I don't know. Not even. Now the NFL team could add Justin Simmons or Ramsey. That would be awesome. I've talked about this too, and great comment. Jalen Ramsey is worth going out and paying the money to. He's always wanted to be a Raider. I don't know why I keep sitting up. Damn it. He's always wanted to be a Raider. We have the opportunity to bring in a guy, that's still a lockdown corner in the NFL. He brings experience that this young, very, very young cornerback and safety room could help. Even if he doesn't, make it as a corner, You can put the man at free safety. You can put him at safety, like we did with Charles Woodson back in the day when he, felt like he wasn't fast enough to hang with these young cats. We can do a lot. We could do a lot with Jalen Ramsey, and I'm not opposed to bringing him in. However, the only problem I have with bringing in a Jalen Ramsey is taking away snaps from these young guys. We've talked about this too on this channel over and over again, how Pete Carroll, how John Spytek believe in, drafting these guys, keeping them on the team. The team Spytek just came from, the Tampa Bay Bucks, the wannabe Pirate Raiders. They had 43 guys out of their 53-man roster on their team the last 2 years. That's keeping guys in-house that you draft. That's the highest in the NFL over the last couple years. Shit, probably over the last 10 or 15 years. I don't think there's too many teams that keep 43 guys that were drafted in-house on their roster. So they draft well, they keep guys well in the building. And I believe that's what Spytek and Carroll are trying to do. So, as far as Justin Simmons, that I think Jeremy Chin and Justin Simmons would be just absolutely freakish. If you bring in Simmons and a Ramsey and we don't make the playoffs, I think there's going to be a lot of pissed off Raider Nation fans. I'm going to be one of them. I think there's going to be riots in Vegas, riots in LA, riots in Oakland, riots all over the planet. If we spend that kind of money and don't make the playoffs, because of quarterback play or offensive line or whatever it is, I mean, that would be a big gamble. That would be a big ass gamble. Kind of like the title, Gambling with Tyree Wilson. Stay tuned. We're getting to that. So, again, I'm not opposed to bringing in these guys. I think Ramsey would be great. Justin Simmons. You can only keep probably 4 safeties. That's what most teams do. That puts somebody not even on the practice squad, probably cut. A Trey Taylor. I don't know where they're putting Lonnie Jackson, Lonnie Johnson. So I don't know, like I said, what it does to these young guys bringing in him. But if they feel it's the right move, I'm not opposed to it. Like, you can never have too many superstars, too many veterans, too many guys that have been there and done that. And both those guys have been there and done that. I wanted Justin Simmons, last year on this team, and I've always wanted Jalen Ramsey. So, y'all talk the most, but get offended if you don't know. Nobody's offended. Yeah, man, the same guy that had a different account and pretended to be a Raider fan. Oh, getting called out. What? When was this, Dix Insider? Pause. If you don't know my Ninja PA, who's gonna get offended? Frank Weber in the building. What it do? What it do? How does none of this surprise me? Or why does none of this surprise me? I don't know. I be trolling, but keep it in cheap PG. No pleasure, just business. What? Talking about? Alright. That's why I stopped reading my chats. Our CB room is scary. Scaring me though. Alright, I gotta learn how to read. My guy Chu said our QB room is scaring him. I mean, I could agree with that. If you look at the rest of the AFC West, we're at the bottom. I'm not gonna lie. Our cornerback room does not sit anywhere near the top. It's I don't know if the latest power rankings came out in the defensive back room yet, like it has with the offensive line and the running game, which we will get into that very shortly and quickly because I don't want to keep y'all too late. Unless y'all ain't got shit to do, I'll stay here all night. But yeah, it 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 is a little scary, but there is a huge bright side to our corner room. And of course, I'm going to tell you what it is. Eric Stokes, drafted in the first round. He's dealt with a lot of injuries, but he's still been a veteran. He's still been in locker rooms. He still knows the game. You know, he has had playing time. He has, had burn. Last year was his first full season, and then the Packers just let him go. This could be his breakout year. And I'm sure Pete Carroll, I'm sure Patrick Graham, everybody on that staff, and everybody in the Raider Nation, including myself, is hoping that this dude is what he was drafted to be. Now, after a full season, when you've been hurt, that's a huge upside, right? That's a big upside. Can he be that guy in college after all the injuries? That's the huge question that we have. But if Eric Stokes can, even be 80 to 85% of what he was supposed to be drafted in the first round, that's better than everybody we have right now, right? In my opinion. So that's an upside. DeCamarion Richardson had his struggles, thrown in the fire under Pete Carroll, under Marcus Robinson. Does he take the next step? That's a huge question. I believe he has the talent. He has the speed. Does he put in the effort? Does he grasp the NFL? Sometimes it takes guys 3 or 4 years to click. Then you bring in Darian Porter, who has already taken first string snaps. That's, says a lot. Already out there in OTAs, they're like, man, let this kid cook. He's the most athletic guy. And I said that since he was drafted. He's the most damn, that shit burned my throat. He's the most athletic dude maybe on the team. Shit. The kid is freakishly athletic. Go to receiver, to go to be a lockdown corner last year. Teams didn't want to throw on him. So there is upside. But yes, I get what you're saying. It is scary because there's a lot of questions. We don't know if these guys are going to be what they're supposed to be, which leaves all of us a little scared, right? But for me, somehow, I just don't feel like this cornerback room is going to be as bad or as weak or as scary as I think a lot of people do. Because we've talked about this before also. When your defensive front puts pressure on the quarterback, makes him make mistakes. He's constantly rolling out. Guys have to get out of their routes, right? If the quarterback's constantly getting away, scrambling out of the pocket, guys are breaking routes. Guys are having to cover for 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 8 seconds. It doesn't matter who you are in the NFL. If you're Patrick Surtain, if you're covering a guy for 8 seconds, eventually he's going to get a step on you. He's going to get you to go one way and him go the other way. Now, is the quarterback going to be able to see that, trying to watch the whole field? Probably not. But more often than not, if you're coming back to the quarterback, and you have 7, 8 seconds, most of the time it's a positive play for the quarterback, right? If you're running around for that long, 5, 6, 7 seconds, it's bad for the defense. So I believe our defense is going to put pressure on the quarterback. We're going to cage the quarterback in. They're not going to be running around. Even the mobile quarterbacks we play, which is not as many as we had in the past, which is a damn good thing for us. They're not going to be running all over the place, and they're not going to have time to go through their progressions, right? They're going to have to be decisive, know where to throw the ball, pre-snap, and get the ball out fast, because this defense is coming for them. It's the same, it's I think an upgraded, revamped, much better revamped defensive line than last year. Way better, right? These guys are faster. We'll get to that when we talking about Tyree Wilson. So yeah, I agree with you. Cornerback room has some questions, but I believe they're going to shock some people. Edge Joyner might even take Snowden's spot. You know, Snowden is athletic. The dude's strong. He has good technique. There's a reason they kept him around. Now, his off-field issues, if that's fixed, this dude is going to make some noise, and he's going to battle for that spot, right? He's been on the team. He knows the defense. It's not going to change too much. It's going to change a little bit. You know, we might be in a lot more cover 3. Who knows? But Ja Joyner has the potential to definitely not even take Snowden's spot, but he could take Tyree Wilson's spot also, and we will get to that here in a bit. You would find happiness in being a Chargers fan. Rebel, what laptop you got? Intel Core i5 10th gen. That's what it says on the thing. I don't know. ThinkPad. What else we got? That's all I got. Piano was not accepted within the people. He hangs out with us. Piano Man is an outcast. Hey, there's no problem. There's nothing wrong with being the black sheep. As long as it got a silver stripe on it, right? You feel me? Just saying. What the hell? Shit, he ain't accepted here either. Just like to play with them. Get bored. Bueno sounds about right. We're his only friends. See, Frank Weber says he's your friend, my guy. I'm just saying. Fuck. A YouTuber can't do live when there's only 8 Bull fans and only 1 social media. I mean, look, you can. I've been doing lives for a year and a half with, it started with 5, 6, went to 8. Now I'm getting in that, 10, 15 range. So, I mean, you can do lives with a couple people. But I don't know if you're going to get the only 6 Charger fans to be in your live every time you go live. It's going to be very difficult. Very, very difficult. Stop with the Pop-Tarts. Devontae Adams is gone, bro. They called Devontae, not the Raiders, a Pop-Tart. They called Devontae a Pop-Tart. And he's gone. He's gone. Yes, that $2 will do me good. Is my shitty ass service? Is you asking? Somebody asking about my computer? My screen look like shit. Imagine bragging about Netflix documentaries. Y'all should be happy I'm here to bless this chat. You just trying to steal my takes. What are you blessing my chat? If a Charger fan gets us to the Super Bowl, shit, you should go to every Raiders chat. That's the only way it's gonna be a blessing. I'm happy you're here. It helps the chat and Rebel chopping, right? Need a bad guy with a good team. Meredith and Rogers could be starting guards. All right, this chat. How far behind am I? I'm so slow. I would like that. I definitely. I'm not counting out Dylan Parham. He's gained a little bit of weight. He's put on a little bit of muscle. He is one of the most athletic offensive linemen we have. And he's going to get a lot of first team reps, I believe, this offseason. The only reason he lost his job last year is because he was hurt. You can't hold down a job if you're hurt. So I'm not giving up on Dylan Parham. My only thing about Parham was, 285, 290 pounds is not big enough. If the Raiders want to be dominant, physical Raiders of old, we need 320, 340 pound offensive linemen that can move like Leaky Tassi, or how you say his name, right? Leaky Tassi, that they're talking about moving to guard. 6'6", 340 pounds, athletic as hell, played rugby. Those are the dudes we need on this offensive line. So, no knock to my guy Parham. He's played his ass off for us. Even played hurt a couple times. So, yeah, I agree, Alex. I think Meredith and Rodgers just looks different out there in OTAs. And if you haven't seen the tape, go watch the tape. I don't know when it got put out. I don't know if it was yesterday's OTAs or before the break OTAs, but I didn't see it before the break. So go check it out. My guy, Charles Grant, just pancaking the third center we have. I can't remember his name off the grip. Meredith is very consistent. Kappa could be the same. I was reading the chairman above. I don't know if Kappa could be consistent in these duds. Like, he had a good run, but over in the Bengals, right? He had a decent quarterback behind him. He had a decent run game, and he struggled both years. Overall grade 57.6%. That's horrible. Now, did he have injuries? I don't know. I didn't do a whole bunch of research into into Mr. Kappa. We all know it's a spy tech guy. I really believe he's just here because we don't have any veterans. Our only veteran is Colton Miller, right? I mean, you can call Thayer Mumford a veteran because he's going into his 4th year. But that's not a veteran with playtime. That's not a veteran, with 500 snaps in a season, right? That's not a guy that's got a lot of burn. That's a guy that's been in and out of the lineups, been hurt. He's been on the left side. He's been on the right side. He got his job jacked by a rookie. So there's not a lot of veterans on this offensive line, and I believe that's why they brought in Kappa. I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he's going to start. I think the only way he plays is if something happens to, one of these young cats. I think they're going to give these young guys a chance. We all know Pete Carroll is not shy about throwing guys into the fire, being like, all right, go out there, do your thing, show me what you got. Pete Carroll is all about that. I don't know if Chip Kelly so much, is the same. But if your coach says, I want this guy playing, that guy's playing, right? That's my opinion. I don't think Kappa plays. That's me. I hear all the other talk about Kappa's going to be the guy. If he is, then I was wrong, but I just don't see him starting week 1. I don't see it. There's too many athletic guys that are, that are learning the system the same he is, and being a veteran or not. When you come off 2 bad years and you got guys that want this job, that want to play, that don't want to sit on the bench, they want to be that next JPJ, next DJ Glaze, to be a young guy producing on the Raiders, this historical franchise. I think Kappa's got his work cut out for him. I don't care about movies. Write a song. Do while you at it. Write a song. We write a song. Kappa did have a terrible season last year. Yes, it was bad. True, but Bengals' whole O-line was ass. I'm not going to disagree with that. But Joe Burrow did throw for 42 touchdowns last year, or 48 touchdowns. Wasn't it 48? Dude, Joe Burrow threw for 48 touchdowns last year, so I don't know how bad the offensive line was, but I know their offensive line has never been great. It's always been ranked at the bottom of the NFL. And if you want a guy like Joe Burrow to take your team back to the Super Bowl, man, you got to give that man some help. Give Joe Burrow some help, please. He needs help. So yeah, I agree. Y'all know why I'm blocked. You kick me out and then talk about me and make topic. LOL. Why can't we all be here chilling? Just go back and forth because Rosetown and Bueno just say I did it because I'm sad. What? He said, shut up, pussy. Lonnie Johnson might play Nickelback this season. Nickelback's a good band. I like them back in the day. Everybody wants to be a rock star. But yeah, man, I don't know where Lonnie Johnson's going to be. They have him listed at the corner spot. They have him listed in that middle Nickelback. I guess that is Nickelback. Nickelback slot spot. He could play more special teams, I think. A lot more special teams in the beginning. He did get a pick. He did get a pick off the rip in OTAs against Aiden O'Connell. I do believe it was against AOC. Dear bombs a lot. Which week do you think AOC will start? Okay, we'll get into that here in a second. But yeah, Lonnie Johnson at the nickel, I think would be damn good. I believe you can put him at free safety also. And possibly on the outside. But I think, with his size, his speed, if he still has the speed he did when he was a first round pick, another guy, that could take some of pressure off of the questions we have if they shine in camp in preseason, would be a guy like Lonnie Johnson. I think it would really, really help the young guys in the building. If he could come along, and Eric Stokes could be those guys and, show these young guys the ropes. Maybe they don't have to play right away and you can play these older vets for a little bit. Why these guys come along a little bit and not have to be thrown to the fire. I'm thinking that would be great. That's the first step, Piano Man. You're sad. Come on, leave the kid alone. He's 31 and from Arizona. I don't think he's 31 though. His name was Superpowers. All right, when do you think AOC will start? Man. Gonna make this show long. I got a lot of topics still to get to. All right, so I don't think AOC will start. Unless Gino gets hurt. I'll make it short and sweet. Stay all night. I mean, I'll stay all night. Shit, we could stay here and talk football till the cows come home, till the roosters crow. Don't make it shit to me. I can go to work on 2 hours. So I don't believe AOC starts. Now, even if he has a better camp like he did last year, where he beat out Gardner Minshew very easily from the tape I seen, from the open practice, it was AOC, bro. AOC should have played. Now, this year, he's got the same situation. Shout out whatever that was. I'll get to it in a minute. I don't want to lose my spot. I apologize, but shout out to you. I appreciate you for whatever gift, super chat, all that shit. I'll figure it out in a second. But shout out. So, I think AOC, damn it. And again, all right, I'll get to a minute. I think AOC is stuck in that same rut, right? You got Pete Carroll that brought this kid in, Geno Smith, that believed in Geno Smith enough to trade Russell Wilson after he took him to 2 Super Bowls. He has a connection there. And I think it's going to take, I don't want to say it. I don't see anything getting Geno out of there but injury. That's what I'm saying. I think Pete Carroll believes in this guy too much, and I feel it could be a downfall and hurt the Raiders. Now, it could be a hot take, so hit your record button. But really, I feel this could be a situation that if Geno does not come out hot right off the rip, or throughout the season. If he struggles like he did last year, 21 touchdowns is good. It's okay. It's not a sixth. It's not the sixth best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, you can look at a completion ratio, but if a completion ratio makes you a sixth best quarterback in the NFL when you have 21 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, and 6 fumbles, some people say 9 fumbles. I've seen both. Either one is too many. I don't know how you're rated in the top 10. So if Geno doesn't come out, if he comes out and struggles, I think Pete Carroll sticks with him. He believes in him. Even if Chip Kelly wants to go with Aiden O'Connell, I don't think it ever happens. Now, I hope to God this never happens. This is fantasy world, right? This is, worst case scenario. This is not Rebels' take on this shit. These words are not licensed and agreed by Raiders Rebel Unleashed or Raiders Rebels. So, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? If that happens, I feel like it could be a big, big problem for this season. I see it taking, a major catastrophic type season like Gardner Minshew had, where you start out with 9 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, 6 fumbles, type shit. I really don't know if they pull him. I really don't. That's the question. That is a big question. And I might have to do a whole show on that. I don't want to talk about that too much. But I don't see Aiden O'Connell starting unless Geno gets hurt. Even if he's the best quarterback. It doesn't matter. If he's throwing dimes, whatever the thing is, if he's better mobile, if he's running the RPO, if he's running play action this offseason, no matter how good he looks, it's already Geno's job. You don't give a guy $66 million to go with the backup quarterback. I know they did it before when they brought in Feely and they ended up going with Russell Wilson. He didn't get the guaranteed money that the Geno Smith got, so I just don't see that happening. Let me see what all this noise was about. Unleashing Addiction with the $1.99 thumbs up. I appreciate you. I don't know why it did it. Raider Jeff in the building. What's good? Helping the Unleashed Rebel Nation grow, man. I appreciate you. Shout out to Joe, Tom Bowers, Ahmad. I don't know where you at. Rochelle Raider 24. Tui, welcome to the Raider Unleashed family. And 207. I'm not even gonna try to fucking say that name. Daryl Azian. Is that how you say it? What's good? Max Crosby chose to stay. Yes, Pete convinced him to stay. I mean, when you have a guy like Pete Carroll come in the building talking about, not even talking, but just showing, not talking about it, but being about it, showing that energy. Yeah, it don't take much convincing. Max wants to be a Raider. He was drafted a Raider. He wants to end his career here. He wants to be great. He wants to win a Super Bowl for this team. So I don't think it was a whole lot of convincing. But, how can you say no to a guy like Pete Carroll? And yes, I'm reading the chat backwards because I'm trying to get to the super chat, so I'm not rude. But shout out if anybody I missed. Now I got to go back up top and figure out where the hell I was. Piano Man. Okay. Shut up, pussy. That's where I was. Shut up. Oh, bro, I'm coming with pure energy. You want some Aurora? Watch the Chargers play some football. I hope you have that same energy, Piano Man. Week 2, when we are stomping your ass and dog walking you up and down Allegiant Stadium and put your quarterback out for the season. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Putting that out there. I'm putting that out there. Justin Herbert goes out week 2, done for the season. Devastating hit by none other than Malcolm Coates. You heard it here first, Raiders Unleashed. A lot of young talent in the quarterback room, but what? Several probably not making the team. What the fuck is tickling my nose, bro? Their hair there. Not picking, I'm trying to see if there's a whole fucking hair or something. Yeah, we'll break the roster down here in a second. We'll pull it up. Yeah, I think a lot of guys, you know, got to keep some for the practice squad like we did last year with Sam Webb for a little bit. Like we did with Kai Blue Kelly, like we did with what's the other cat that we cut? Who's the other kid we drafted? Not the carrying damn, I can't think of his name. But anyways. Y'all remember when I found some Aurora in the Chargers trophy room? Stop. Stop, bro. Stop. If Gino goes down week 8 or 9, Aiden O'Connell comes in, takes us to the playoffs, carries us to the Super Bowl. And all the AOC cerebral assassin haters are gonna hate life. When the Raiders dropped a franchise record of 63 points on the Chargers, type Aurora shit, right? LA Choker's always a choker tradition. I love the Chargers. All right. I'm not bueno. Give up Rosetown. Gotta say, Unleashing Addiction. I got that. None of these are about football. If they are about football, I probably glanced over it. Oh, Raiders got a tough schedule. Daryl Azine. A tough schedule? All right, elaborate on that. How do you figure? I mean, the schedule's up there. We got the Patriots. They picked 4th. Yes, they improved. We got the Chargers. The Lightning Bugs. Let me talk about the Lightning Bugs for a minute. Them Lightning Bugs, a lot of people don't know. Probably Piano Man, a Chargers fan, don't know. The Chargers had the 26th easiest schedule in the NFL last year. That's right. That team that was 11-5, 11-6, made it to the playoffs, ran over everybody, threw for 140 yards a game, maybe 200 here and there. Kind of like the Eagles did. They tried to beat that Eagles team. They had the 26th easiest schedule last year. Well, that's not the case this year. The Chargers, they have a way tougher schedule. I believe it's like 8th or 9th in the NFL. Then we play the Washington Commanders. Yeah, they got JD5. Does he have a sophomore slump? I hope to God he does. Week 3 against the Raiders. Then we play the Bears. They have lots of questions. I believe our defense gets to Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is horrible under pressure. The kid tries to run around, make too many plays, kind of like a Shedeur Sanders. He just runs side to side, trying to escape pressure instead of throwing the ball away, and he takes sacks. I believe that's going to be a close game, but, I say we win. Then we got the Colts. Come on, man. Anthony Richardson. Who else is going to be the quarterback? We don't know. Then we got the Titans. They picked 1st overall. They got a rookie quarterback. You think by week 5 they're really going to be better to beat the Raiders? They're really going to be ready to go against Max Crosby? They're really going to go against Christian might not be out there, but Adam Butler, Jonah Lalu, JJ Pegues. Yes, he's going to make this team. Malcolm Coons, come on. There's no way. They're not going to be ready. Then you got Kansas City, week 7, right before a bye. Damn good game. Then you come off a bye. You got the Jaguars. They picked 5th overall. They won 3 games last year, I believe, right? 2 games? 2 or 3 games? I mean, is Trevor Lawrence really going to bounce back and be that dude they're paying him $160 million? I don't think he's ever going to be that quarterback. I don't believe in Trevor Lawrence at all. I would take Aiden O'Connell any day of the week over Trevor Lawrence. That's me. Then you have the Broncos, the Donkeys, right? I don't know if this is the Thursday night football game or not. It's going to be a battle. Yes, that's going to be a tough game. The Cowboys, going to be a tough game. The Browns, man, you never know with the Browns. I hope it's Shador Sanders. I really, really do. I would love to see that game. Then you have the Lightning Bugs again, the Broncos again. Then you have the Super Bowl champs, the Eagles. Going to be a tough game. So, you know, the Texans going to be a tough game. The Giants, they could be good. You know, they could start Jackson Dart mid-season and could get rolling towards the end of the year. Then you have Kansas City. I see them struggling this year. They have, you know, they got Jalen Royals. I think that's absolutely huge for them. I think their offensive line still has questions. I think Patrick Mahomes maybe played too many games injured. Those injuries where you don't get surgery, you play hurt, come back to bite you, no matter, you know, how Superman people think he is. So, Raiders' schedule could be tough, but it could also be a 10-win season or a 12-win season. It could very easily be, you know, an 8-win season. I don't see it being less than that. If we lose half our games, something was definitely wrong. You don't get the number 6 overall pick. Shore up your running game. Shore up your quarterback room. Stiffen up your offensive line. Tighten up your defensive line like vice grips. Upgrade at a safety position. Coverage-wise. Aggressiveness-wise. Versatility-wise. You know, if you do all that and only win 4 more games than you did last year when you should have won at least 8 games last year, to me, that's a failed season. So I hope the schedule is not that bad. I'm with you on the Parham can still improve himself. Yeah, it's his 3rd or 4th year. I mean, he can get bigger. You can pack on weight. You can get stronger. And I believe he's done that. I think he's put on the work. And if he does, and he doesn't start, right? That's just a guy. Look, Parham, you could talk, you know, I've seen Chat Sports. I've seen Mitchell Rands talk about over and over again about Parham being a trade candidate, you know, why you should trade Parham, why he thinks he's getting traded. I think all that is nonsense and asinine to me. You don't get rid of a guy that has value to play guard, right or left, and play center. I think he played very well at the center position. You know, if something happens to JPJ, God forbid, knock on wood, you know, you have Will Putnam, which I believe in Will Putnam. I think this man should be getting, you know, out there on the 53-man roster so he could get some play time, maybe field goals or, you know, shit like that, kickoffs. I don't know, whatever, but just get out there and get some grass time. I like Will Putnam. So, Parham is his versatility. It's, you know, it's unvaluable. Whether he starts or not, like I said, you still have a backup at 3 different positions in one guy. That's 2 different guys that you can sign at corner, you know, defensive line, linebacker room, wherever you feel you need them most. I believe keeping Parham on this team gives us that versatility. So, yeah, I hope he just does continue to develop. What do we got? Tassie, quick rugby player for his size. Dude, he's a mammoth man that moves scary. It's scary, freakishly scary. Have you watched this dude out there with no pads on, with no helmet? The shit he does to people? If you put pads and a helmet on this man, that's like putting you know, pads and a helmet on King Kong, dude. I'm telling you. This dude is a giant gorilla out there. He's bigger than everybody. You're not moving this man. He is definitely an anchor. I don't know why they're not putting him at the tackle spot. with his athleticism, his footwork, maybe that's going to take some time. Maybe they move him to that. But putting him at the guard spot, if he can pick that up quick, I believe there was another guard. I can't remember what team, but there was another guy that came out the same way from that rugby shit that ended up being a, 2-time All-Pro guard in the NFL. So the upside is there. There's a reason somebody in the building seen this kid and was like, hey, let's put him on the offensive side instead of the defensive side. And if he develops, man, that's huge for the Raiders. Ashton Genty doesn't even come to his waist, I don't think. So Ashton Genty running behind this dude would be freakish. Cam Scatterboo a Raider though? It would have been cool if he was, man. The dude's a dog. He's a dog. But no, he's a giant. And I wouldn't mind having him on my team. Like he said, he got that got a little bit of that hood country swag. Kind of like myself. So he would have fit right in the Raiders. We need that, aggressive type running. And I'm praying, I'm hoping, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that Zamir White could be that guy, right? That could be that power dude to just slam through the middle with his size, his speed. I'm praying for Zamir. I hope he does. I know the Raiders have a lot of picks. I can't keep up with all of them. Yeah, they drafted who all we draft? Ashton Genty, Jack Beck, Dante Thornton, Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant, Tommy Malott, Cam Miller, and Cody Lindenberg. Did I miss anybody? I think that's all our draft picks. What the fuck is wrong with my throat? Maybe I need to hit this. Yeah, Genty, Beck, and Thornton are going to be nasty for this team. Salute my guy, Jeff. Appreciate you popping in. Chip Kelly may even use a fullback this year with Conroy on the team. We do have the tight end Conroy on the team that could easily play fullback and fill that position. We also have Michael Mayers. I'm going to sit back. We also have Michael Mayers that can, easily fill that position. We also brought in JJ Pegues that I think is going to be the guy for that spot. His size, his power reminds me of William the Refrigerator Perry. Now, I don't know how many people are old enough to remember the fridge or the Super Bowl Shuffle video from the Chicago Bears with Walter Payton and them back in the day. But he reminds me of the fridge, a guy that could be a very, very dominant defensive tackle in the NFL and then flip over and be a guy that, gives you guaranteed first down yardage, short yardage, guaranteed, touchdowns from the goal line, shit like that. But yeah, Conroy, could definitely earn a spot. Damn, Jeff laid it to you live right at the end. Wait, it's not over. Oh, you made it to his live right at the end. I know, yeah, bro. Think some players look up to him. Nate, I saw that. Nate and I saw that we started laughing. I'm sure Raiders will win the first game of 2025. Man, I hope they win the first game, the second game. The third game's going to be a battle, but if they win that game, that's going to say a lot for this season. If they can pull off the third game with a victory, whoo, my 12-5 record looks good right out the jump. I like it like that. Kappa also terrible in pass blocking, like worse than the whole entire league. I agree. He was better at run blocking, but when it comes to pass blocking, The dude was ass, and he was that Cody Whitehair type of ass. The what's the other cat? I don't know, but the other tackle that we got to try to put it guard and tackle everywhere, that I don't even know why we signed last year. I was pissed, but I feel like he's that same type of dude, right? Just brought in for veteran leadership to kind of bring these young guys around, right? You know, show them the ropes. Me as a tile setter my whole life, as a marble mason, you learn tricks, right? People are like, damn, how you make that cut so fast? Or how you go on the saw and just set it up there and cut without lining it up? I've been doing the shit 30 something years, so it comes natural. It's, you know, muscle memory, brain memory. You learn tricks of the trade, and you got to have veterans in your building to show these guys tricks of the trade, right? You know, pull and push and pull shit. How to swipe guys. Maybe, you know, maybe how to train different to build different parts of your body that you need as an offensive lineman. Maybe how to build, you know, your hips or your waist and make shit like that stronger. You know, so you got to have veterans in the building. And I think that's the only reason Kappa's here, man. Wow, their work is cut out for them. Yes. Do have some work cut out for them. Raiders. Alive in? Is everybody gone? How's Ghost? James Furpo. Appreciate y'all if I didn't get to y'all. Jeff again with the 5. Alright, I'm catching up. Rocket Man claims he's a moron that does drugs. What? Max Crosby chooses to stay with Pete Carroll. I got to that. Talked to a Bolt fan today at the mall. He was buying a jacket. I was wearing a number 8 White Jacobs jersey. I told him he was a unicorn I've never seen. More than one in one place. That's good shit, James Furpo. Shout out. Hey Rebel, tried to share your link, Hawaiian Candy's channel, but it wouldn't let me because I'm not a mod in her channel. So I told everyone you were on here. Well, what's up? Why don't Hawaiian Candy? That's all, folks. Why don't Hawaiian Candy make you a mod, yo? What's up with that? I was wondering where you been, Dixon. Glad you're back, right? Shout out to my guy Dixon Sider. Greatest name, all of YouTube. All of YouTube. Geno Smith is no joke. He's a vet for sure. Man, I hope. I really hope. I hope. My only thing with Geno Smith, he's a Raider. I'm going to root for him all day long. I want him to succeed. But I'm not jumping on this bandwagon that all of a sudden he went from Seattle being a top 15 quarterback, that all of a sudden he's on the Raiders, which everybody that says why he's going to be a top, 5, 6, 10 quarterback this year. But they say he has lesser weapons around him. A worst offensive line. If you look at the latest offensive line ratings coming out from PFF, from NFL.com, from all ESPN, all these guys have their latest NFL on offensive line rankings 17th, 18th, 16th for the Seattle Seahawks. You know where they have the Raiders? 26th, 28th, 29th. Do they really? How did they say Geno is going to be the same people that have our offense ranked as the 26th best offense in the NFL have Geno Smith a 6th best quarterback in the NFL? He's not going to be a 6th best quarterback in the NFL if you have a 26th best offensive line. That's what he had last year. That's why he had 15 interceptions and 6 or 9 fumbles. So I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on every part about this team, except rating Geno that high. Now, I have him as a top 15 quarterback. He's definitely between that 10 and 15. But in the top 10, he's never been a top 10. He's never won a playoff game. He's never beat a team over 500 that was heading to the playoffs or that was already in the playoffs. He is 3-13 when it comes to big game wins. big time pressure games. That is not a top quarterback in the NFL. Top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL win those pressure games. They carry the teams. We've had this discussion. Everybody says Derek Carr was not a top 10 or 15 quarterback in the NFL because he never won the big game. But how do we put that on Geno, who's never done shit? I'm not buying it. Now, if he is, thank God, thank you, Lord, for getting us Geno Smith and putting him with Pete Carroll. But if he's not, you're not going to hear me say I told you so. But he's got to do a lot to be ranked in the top 10, bro, let alone the top 15. I mean, the quarterbacks above him, I could think of 5 quarterbacks drafted in the last 2 years that are above him. That's not even counting the 5 that are on tier 1 on my quarterback rating. So I hope Geno is that dude. But if he struggles, this team struggles. Our running game is not going to carry us. Our defense is not going to be able to carry us if our offense can't stay on the field and keep our defense off the field. That's the problem we've had year in and year out. So, yeah. We can add any bias. You got to be mentally strong. Raider critic, a.k.a. a Karen. Bro, everybody in this chat is mentally strong. We're Raider fans. We've been through more shit than anybody but a Chargers fan. Gruden coach. All right, man. I got to get through this damn chat. Damn. Unleashing addiction with another 5 members. Jeffrey, Daniel Cap, Doom 119. I'm not bueno, James Furpo. Welcome to the Unleashed Raiders family, man. This family is growing. I'm gonna have to change it from a family to an army, because if y'all keep growing like this, we've taken over shit. We taking over. We have an easy cookie cut schedule. Last year you had the 26th easiest schedule. Y'all ain't got that this year. Y'all got a rough schedule. Tyree is trash, bro. Durete Tom, how you say that? Darte? Darte? DT, my guy. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you popping in. He says Tyree is trash. We'll get to Tyree here in a second. Gotta catch up on this shit. And Herbert is still mediocre. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. All right, I'm skipping some of y'all shit. If it's not a question. 12 and 5, definitely wrong. Look, I just don't. I went through the roster. I went through the games, right? That's where I see us getting. If we're not, whatever. The only team above 500 the Chargers beat last year were the slow start struggling Bengals and the Donkeys, right? And they barely won that game against the Bengals. The Bengals, if they would have played them at the end of the year where they won like 7 in a row, the Chargers would have got smoked like they did against Houston. We all know this. And they're going to struggle this year. Shout out my man Jeff. If you left, everybody saying peace. Must have missed that. All right, I'm almost caught up because, man, I got to get this shit off. Unleashing addiction. Keep it up with the $5 holler. Keeping the lights on in the building. Trying to give me a paycheck this month. Takes a lot on YouTube. 1980 Chargers is a great story with a happy ending. Like a Deshaun Watson happy ending? One of those kind of happy endings? God must hate the Chargers. That might be a very true statement. I think he's kind of hate us lately too, man. I don't know what we ever did, but you'd think Al Davis up there in the sky would be helping out the Raiders more than we are getting. We need some angel love over here. Some Angely City love. Help us out. All right. City's gone. Carlson, Dixon Sider, Garza. Geno is a decent quarterback. Number 8, number 2 back. Number 2 over 6 figures with Genty. I don't know how much we get from JJ. Man. All right, let's get into this. Cause I'm gonna keep talking. Tyree Wilson, man. Tyree flipping Wilson. What are we doing with Tyree, yo? Is he gonna be that dude? Oh, what is going with that on? Tyree Wilson, can he have a breakout year? Can this be the year Tyree comes to life? Now, pump the brakes. I'm not saying this is the year Tyree Wilson shows why he was a 7th overall pick. I've talked about it on this channel. That's past. It's done. It's behind us. It's like the Super Bowls we lost. It's like the Tuck rule. Move the fuck on. Get over it. Hey, this is the first time I cussed on the whole channel. What? Sweet. Didn't even cuss. But I almost made it. Almost made it without saying the F word. Shout out to me. Can somebody give me a pat on the back? It takes a lot. Anyway. There'll probably be 1,000 more after that. You know, it's like the Tuck rule. It's in the past. Let's move on. Let's get over it. Let's get this shit on the road. Let's get this new season going. He's never going to be, you know, up to that number 7 spot. We get it. He's not going to be worth a 7th overall pick. However, this man is just a little bit being dogged on, man. Being dogged on. And it's the Raiders. I get it. It's the Raider Nation. We are unforgiving. We are ruthless, right? You got to come in your first year and make it to the Pro Bowl, have 15,000 sacks, have 800 tackles, and if you don't, you're a bust. I get it. But why are we even having this talk comparing Jalen Carter? I'm so sick of hearing about Jalen Carter. We could have drafted Jalen Carter. Yes, we could have. Yes, we fucked up. Yes, we've made bad decisions. This organization has done nothing but make bad draft picks for the last 15 or 20 years. Why are you calling me? Hello? Yes, why are you calling me in the middle of a live? Chinky, bow wow. My live end? What the hell? Alright, let's pull this up. Pulling up. Oh, shit. Alright, so damn chat. Up. Bed over here. Cool. So Tyree Wilson, man. Mr. Bust, right? And it's not gonna let me compare or bring up two at the same time, which is just pissing me off, bro. It's pissing me off. But run defense, 72.4. That is 29th out of 211 edge rushers in the NFL. That's not counting his defensive tackle snaps. That's just counting edge. Now on the D line, this dude is way better. He's a way better defensive tackle. The 3 spot, the 3 technique, the 2 technique, he is way better. Pass rush, 70 or 57.2. Now, overall grade is a 66.7. Last year, he had 5 sacks. He had 6 assists with 1 forced fumble, right? Now, close the whole hold up. Give me a second. So, you looking at his numbers, right? Oh, I could do this. I could look at this screen. All right, nice. 5 sacks, 6 assists, 1 forced fumble, 72.4 rushing grade, 57, blah, 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 19 solo sacks. Now, Jalen Carter, right? This is Jalen Carter, Super Bowl champion. Rushing grade 59, bro. A 59. What do the Raiders need more than anything on defense? Shout out Unleashing Addiction. You are the #1 fan, man. I don't even know how this channel will stay alive without you. 207, welcome to the building. A 59. That is 68th. 68th out of 219 defensive tackles. When it comes to a pass rush grade, he's a beast. We all know Jalen Carter is a dog. 81.5. Overall grade 74.1. Tyree Wilson's overall grade 66.7. That is a 8-point difference on grades. They have the same amount of sacks. Tyree Wilson has more assists, one less fumble. Jalen Carter does have 30 tackles. Now, I gotta do something about. Hold up. Changing my light. All right, so we go back here, and I hope this catches up. I'll switch back and forth. So Jalen Carter, he is 5th. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th in total snaps. Total snaps, bro, in the NFL. Not just for his team. Not just for his team. He is 5th in the NFL. Total snaps, 830. He has 286 as a run defender because he's not very good at stopping the run. He has. Oh shit, what just happened? Go back. He has 554 pass rushing snaps. That is 4th in the NFL. He has 4th overall in the NFL amount of snaps, right? Now let's go back to Tyree Wilson. Tyree Wilson is 66th in total snaps, from 5th to 66th. Now you look at those numbers I just showed you and tell me how a guy like Tyree Wilson, who has had 312 or 300 plus less snaps total, didn't get to start his rookie year like Jalen Carter. He wasn't healthy. He missed 3/4 of the season. I think he played in the last 6 games, maybe 7 games. Last year, didn't get much play time because Malcolm Kuntz finally got his play time, was held back, never got his reps. And when he got his reps, Piano Man wants to outbid me. What's good? Dixon Cider, shout out for the 199 holler. Whose messages are getting deleted? Who are we deleting? Come on. If it's not personal shit, don't delete messages, please. It fucks up my algorithm. So yeah. Tyree Wilson, 66th in total snaps. Jalen Carter, 5th in total snaps. Tyree Wilson, pass rush snaps. Because this is the difference, right? This is where we question Tyree Wilson. Is he that dude? Can he be that dude? Whoa, it popped up on this one too? Nice. Nice. All my shit is starting to work. Coming together like a nice little stream. Tyree Wilson, 51st in pass rush snaps. Where was Jalen Carter? 4th. With 500 and whatever it was. Tyree Wilson has 348 pass rush snaps, most of them at defensive end. Not his natural position, in my opinion. He is better at the 4 technique, at the 3 technique, even at the 2 or 1 technique. He's strong, he's physical, he's fast. I mean, not fast, but he's kind of fast. So, if we look on average, right, because this is what we're talking about. Can he be that dude? Is he going to be that dude? Does he take that next step? But the talk of missing out on Jalen Carter is crazy, right? If we had Jalen Carter, it would help our pass rush. It would take double teams away from Max Crosby. But our run defense would be would have a big gap in the middle, bro. A big, huge gap in the middle. Pause if necessary. Some people like big, huge gaps in the middle. Some people don't. But if you look at the total snaps, 66th, right? Batted passes, 0. He's 74th. Total pass rushes, 49th. That's higher than the 66th overall snaps he gets, right? Hits, 49th. Hurries, 40th. Sacks, 61. Stops, 50th. Forced fumbles, 28th. Assist, 68. Solo tackles, 63. All those numbers are ranked higher than the amount of snaps he has ranked. So, Tyree Wilson, how can he prove if he's not on the field? Now, I'm not going to argue the fact that to be on the grass, to get that burn, you have to show out in practice. You have to earn that spot. But has he just been held back because Max Crosby plays 98% of the snaps? Malcolm Kuntz, when he's healthy, not injured, is going to play 70-80% of the snaps. That leaves Tyree Wilson getting 10-15% of the snaps on edge and maybe 10-15% of the snaps as a defensive tackle. Even if he is playing well, even if he is, performing or getting sacks or getting pressures or getting tackles or tackles for a loss, when he's in there, these guys make more money than him. They're veterans. Christian Wilkins has a crazy contract who hasn't even really been on the field but 4 games. Now, before he got hurt in the Denver game, the man was going off. He was freakish in that game. He was starting to come into his own. He got hurt, unfortunate. But all I'm saying is Tyree Wilson has had guys in front of him constantly because they want to put him at the edge spot. He had Charles Snowden, more athletic, way faster, can get to the quarterback better. From the edge spot, Tyree Wilson, from the defensive tackle spot, can get to the quarterback better. He can stop the run. He has crazy, crazy wingspan. He can reach out and fucking grab guys from 8 yards away. This dude has crazy ass length. So, give Tyree Wilson another chance, yo, is all I'm saying. This year has to be the year for Tyree Wilson. I'm not going to debate that whatsoever, one bit. But I've said he was ranked in all this shit, right? Let me go back. Jalen Carter. Y'all can't see it on the screen because it won't let me pull up 2 at once, and I'm not going to keep flipping back and forth. You just have to take my word for it or, look it up on PFF. Batted passes, he is second with 6. That is damn good for Jalen Carter. He is a dog when it comes to that. Total pressures, he is 9th. That's lower than the 5th amount of snaps, right? He has the 5th most amount of snaps, and he's only 9th in total pressures. He's only 8th in hits. I mean, I say only, you know what I mean. 9th in hurries, 23rd in sacks, 19th in stops, 110th in assists, and 24th in solo tackles. So for his average, he's ranked in the 20s, teens in some, but teens and 20s. But he's 5th overall in snaps and 4th in total pass rush snaps. Now, if Tyree Wilson, definitely you have to earn your way to that, right? You have to earn your way up. But man, if he can earn his way to those snaps, it's a totally, totally different team. This team is nasty. This team is not going to allow teams, guys to run up the middle constantly like they did over and over. James Furpo with the $2. I'm not going to say that. Raiders. I will say that, but I can't say the first one. Bro, you got $5 and you talking about bags. Stop making $2 bills in the 80s. I felt bad, had to come back. Purple, do your thing if you need to, bro. I got it. Man, you know, piano man, you can make this a lot easier on yourself. I'm just saying. You ain't spending the money on the what? I don't know what you're talking about. All right. So I was gonna talk about Ashton Genty, man. I'm not gonna be on here all damn night. I've been on here a little bit. What? Almost going on 2 hours. Shit, that's more than I wanted to be on here. But I appreciate you rocking with your boy this long, man. Hanging out, talking. It's been a good live. It's been a good chat. I appreciate the 15. The number of people that are staying and watching this live are growing. I appreciate y'all hanging in here the whole time, commenting, you know, keeping the chat going, fucking with Piano Man, all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all. I love the shit out of you. No, I'm not getting off yet. Pause if necessary. Got one more thing to do. What's this? So, next up on the list, what was I going to talk about? Fine. No, we'll get to that tomorrow. I'm going to talk about then too. All right, so, fuck it. We'll talk about the rest tomorrow. Give me more to add to the show. So, yeah, man, I believe, here's my take on Tyree Wilson. I think, oh, wait, that's what I wanted to do. I believe Tyree Wilson, I don't know about a breakout year. That's questionable. But let me know in the chat what you consider a breakout year for Tyree Wilson. He had 4 sacks his first year. That's pretty damn good on 1 foot, 1 leg. He had 5 his second year. Not a lot of snaps until Max Crosby got hurt. Malcolm Kuntz got hurt. But then they brought in guys like Kaylavon Chasen, who were just, you know, better technique, faster, more agile, more athletic. And again, it set Tyree back. They had guys like Charles Snowden, set Tyree back. Trying to pull up this and talk at the same time, so there's not too many, dead air space. There we go. Yep, that's what I'm. All right. So, talked about it last night. I bet you can't even name what they call their parking lot. He calling you out, Piano Man. He calling you out. Calling you out. What is the name of the parking lot at SoFi? And what lot do the Raiders hang out in at SoFi? Let us know, Piano Man. Let us know. All right, so Tyree Wilson. Tyree Wilson. This is what I think about Tyree Wilson. This is my take on Tyree Wilson. He's a Raider. He was drafted a Raider. It was a mistake taking him where we did. He's never going to live up to that. I've been over that. But I believe he still has a chance to be a player that contributes in the run game, on goal line, short yardage situation, which, is not a career that you want from a guy drafted 7th overall in the NFL. However, they have him behind Malcolm Kuntz. Malcolm Kuntz, I'm praying to God, stays healthy this year. If he does, I believe he can have a better year than Max Crosby. We'll get to that later. Join me tomorrow when I speak on it. I know y'all thinking I'm crazy. Pull up. I'll tell you why. But behind that, Tyree Wilson, is Andre Carter II, and behind that is Jafari Harvey, bro. Jafari Harvey. I got some film coming out. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. What's today? Thursday? Shit, I don't know if it'll be this week. It might be Monday. Got some other ones I'm working on. If y'all are members to the channel and you haven't watched the video I put out about Colin Johnson, y'all go check it out. I found it to be funny. Y'all might find it to be funny too. If you're not a member, man, join the channel, yo. Get with the program. Join the Unleashed family so you can catch all the content coming out. I know it's been a long time coming, and it's probably been a month or it's probably been 2 or 3 months since I've been allowed to accept super chats and membership, and I'm lagging on getting y'all content, but don't worry, you're gonna get your money's worth. It's gonna come, I promise you. So Andre Carter, and we got some merch coming, we got some hats coming, we got some giveaways coming, we got some shit coming, so stay tuned. Bear with your boy. Appreciate y'all rocking with your guy this long. Andre Carter, man, he's shown flashes last year. I'm gonna try to put together whatever I can. It's kind of hard to find tape on him. I still got some games recorded, but man, it's a lot of research trying to watch games to find when he's in and out. So I don't know if that's gonna come, but he had flashes for the Raiders. He showed a lot to me when it comes to pass rush, when it comes to stopping the run. He's another guy that's, you know, lengthy, that's strong, that's powerful, that can, you know, get through the double team, that can take on the double team, free up other guys. He's definitely a space eater. On the end, I don't know how much of a, you know, pass rusher he is, kind of like a Tyree Wilson. These two guys to me are better on the inside. They're big, they're physical, they're strong. And if you put them, you know, at a 3 technique or a 4 technique, and maybe pop, you know, Malcolm Kuntz as, you know, kind of that right outside linebacker, play him off the line a little bit, like they do Max Crosby sometimes a lot, I think it would benefit DeAndre Carter and Tyree Wilson. Andre Carter and Tyree Wilson a lot, because Jafari Harvey is coming for that spot. Yo, I'm telling you, he is more athletic. He has great technique. He has powerful hands. He has quick get off. Probably not what his girl wants to hear, but yo, the man brings it every single play. The more tape I watch, it's hard to miss this guy, bro. Hard to miss this guy. He stands out. He makes plays. He gets to the quarterback. He's damn good in the run. And he's strong. Like I said, strong and physical. And they keep wanting to bring in these strong physical guys. This is a bad sign for Tyree Wilson. We need production from the end so Malcolm Kuntz doesn't have to play 90% of the snaps, because I don't think he's that guy yet, you know, especially coming off an injury. It's going to take some time. Can he be that guy eventually, like a Max Crosby? Yes. But I don't personally, if I'm running a team, if I'm the owner or the coach, I don't want my defensive end playing 99% of the snaps, 90% of the snaps, or even 85% of the snaps if he doesn't have to. You got to have somebody to get this man a breather, take Max Crosby out, limit the risk injury. Same thing for Malcolm Kuntz. Get him off the grass, you know, as much as you can. Let the dude get a breather, catch his breath. I know it's hard to say. It's hard getting Max off the field, but it has to fucking happen if you want to prolong this dude's career. You can't, you know, you can't just keep constantly playing 97, 98% of the snaps. Now, last year he was hurt. He missed a lot. He's going to be healthier than he's ever been since becoming a Raider, in my opinion. This is the longest he's been off. This is the longest he's been away from football. This dude is going to be coming out with vengeance and on a mission. We'll get into all that tomorrow. So, they need rest, bro. They need to have somebody that can come in where the production isn't, you know, in Madden terms, because some people, you know, relate to that a little bit better and know my stats aren't fucking compared to Madden. I'm just saying, on Madden terms, if you have a guy that's rated a 92, right, as your defensive end, and he gets hurt, and you have a chance to put in his backup, and it's a 67 or a 63, which one do you take, right? Which one do you take? I'm taking the faster dude. If I'm looking at their speed, I'm going with the faster guy. That's just me. You know, you're on the end, technique will work itself out. If you're faster than these bigger, stronger tackles, you have a better chance, in my opinion. So, all I'm trying to say is the drop off can't be from a 92 down to the 60s, bro. You got to have guys that are, you know, if one's in the 90s, which we don't have any guys rated in the 90s besides Max Crosby. I want my, you know, my backup to at least be in the 70s, yo. Come on. Give me something. 69, you know, no, that's too low. 70s, got to be 70s. I want it in the 80s. But you got to have guys somewhere in there. You get what I'm trying to say? You get my analogy. The drop-off can't be too much from these guys, you know, subbing in and out. So, DeAndre Carter, man, I really think is better on the inside. But we talked about it yesterday. Jafari Harvey is coming for that spot. Also, on the inside, you know, for Andre Carter, for Tyree Wilson, you got to battle Jonah Lalu. You got to battle JJ Pegues. You got to battle Traven Mae. It's not my or May or like I thought it was. It's Mai, some shit like that. I don't know. But the fucking A and the E is an I sound. So, yeah, Mai, I think it is. Trevin Mai is a flipping absolute dog, bro. How did this kid not get drafted? What were they seeing? I don't know. Is he young? Did he not have enough reps? I didn't look into his stats. I didn't get into the man's business, you know, off the field shit. We got a diamond in the rough, kids. I'm telling y'all. This kid has a chance to be nasty, bro. Nasty. And if Christian Wilkins is hurt and this man makes the roster or the practice squad, it won't be long before he's getting brought up. Now, you might get brought up, let go, brought up, drop back down. You might get jacked from somebody else's practice squad. Trevin is a freaking problem, dude. He is a big time problem. If he can be a problem in the NFL like he was in college football, this man not only is going to make the team, but he's going to put a lot of people on the bench longer than they want to be. Guys like Christian Wilkins, Adam Butler, they're going to get a lot more rest. This dude's going to be in big time, key plays, key situations. He's going to be on the grass, I'm telling you. And they have him listed behind JJ Pegues and Tonka Hemingway. Hank Booker. I told y'all I was going to watch film yesterday, till my eyes bled. Hank Booker, videos coming out. Again, if you're a member, they will be members only. I can't monetize the videos because it's NFL copyright shit. So, just free gifts to my members, right? I got to do something for y'all. Make sure y'all go check them out. Watch, show your boy love. I appreciate it. But yeah, Tank Booker. The Raiders are in a tough spot, bro. I said this last year. Last year, I felt like some guys that were on the team a year or two should not have been on the team. I was not very big on Jenkins, you know, being brought back. I wasn't big on letting some of the guys go that they did. I wasn't very happy with the decision making, let's be honest, when it came to camp. Some of the moves they made, some of the guys they let stay, some of the guys that they let go, I wasn't happy with. Some of those guys are no longer on the team. They were let go this year for a reason. In my opinion, they should have been let go last year. Somehow they made the squad. I thought they had harder choices last year. They went with the easy choice. They went with the veterans, and they didn't give the young kids a chance. They let a lot of these kids walk to other teams, and some of them are going to be playing probably this year on those teams. Mark my words. Y'all watch this channel, y'all know who I'm talking about. However, this year, bro, Trevin May, Zach Carter, no, not Andre Carter like I mistaked him for yesterday, Zach Carter, Tank Booker. I told y'all about Tonka Hemingway. I told y'all about JJ Pegues. It's a dogfight in camp. This is going to be the biggest, toughest, hardest OTA preseason, offseason battle at defensive tackle we might have ever had in the history of this organization. Every single one of these guys are physical. They're fast. They're dominant. They're tough. They have good hand, fight. They're good at fighting with their hands to beat off the double teams, to beat off, guys grabbing a hold of them, holding on for dear life. You're not grabbing on these guys too often. They're powerful. Like, they're going to make plays. They're going to impress a lot of people, and I cannot wait till the fucking preseason starts. Excuse my language. To see a guy like Trevin May just get out there and people be like, damn, I was kind of worried about this defensive line without Christian Wilkins, but I'm not as worried anymore. Zach Carter, another guy, the same thing. Physical, powerful, not the fastest guy, but, one of those guys that's consistent, that studies, you can tell, because he knows where guys are going to be. He knows the play. He knows, I didn't see him make a lot of mistakes. I watched 2 different games. I didn't see him make a lot of mistakes. Not a lot of offsides, not a lot of stupid penalties. Kid has a lot of upside. When you got a guy like Robbie Leonard, who is, I think been doing a damn good job with bringing these defensive lines, linemen along. Some of them went on, moved on to other teams. Eli Nichols, still doing well. Some of these guys, not so well. They did better on the Raiders. But Robbie Leonard, I think, in my opinion, is one of the best defensive line coaches. And when he gets his hands on these guys and, tones their technique, right? Tones their footwork a little bit, tones their tackling skills a little bit. These dudes hit like you're getting hit by a dump truck. I've been hit by a dump truck with 80 tons full load of rocks. That shit ain't funny. It hurts like hell. But these dudes, Zach Carter, physical, strong. Tank Booker, another guy, for his size, his agility, his quickness. It's freakish, dude. It's freakish. I was rewinding shit, like, knowing that I had a whole lot of still film to watch on the dude. I'm still rewinding it going, what the hell? Like, how did he beat not one, but 2 guys to still get in there and make the play in the backfield? These guys are special, man. We've brought in a lot of kids. Sorry, not kids. To me, they're kids, but, younger grown men that are going to make some noise on this defensive line. And the Raiders have some tough choices, because whoever you put on the practice squad, when they get out there in preseason and teams and scouts get to take a look at these guys, how they do against other NFL players, and we have to let them go because we don't have room on our roster because it's so packed full of depth for the first time in many moons. These guys are going to end up going to other teams, and we're going to be like, damn, I wish those guys never ever left. So wait, I'm going to make sure I copy this roster before I leave today, just so I have a copy to make sure what guys we brought in we didn't keep, and keep track of them like I haven't done last year, my first year in YouTube. But I'm going to keep receipts this time, because I think a lot of these guys have a chance to be very, very special on this defensive line. And for the first time in a long time, the Raiders might actually try to run 5 defensive linemen. we really have three, you know, three guys that I think you can put at that nose position. Maybe not right away, right? But eventually and very, very soon. So Tyree Wilson, bro, he's got his work cut out for him. If Jafari Harvey makes this team, if Ja Joyner makes this team, which I believe they do, this could be the last year Tyree Wilson wears a silver and black jersey. It very well could be. Now, for him to remain a Raider, what does he have to do? What's the expectations? For me, if he gets, what is this number? There, I don't talking shit out my talking both sides of my neck. All right, well, that would have fucked that up. So Jalen Carter as a pass rush, man, had 800 snaps. He had 5 sacks, 30 tackles. If you're playing defensive tackle for Tyree Wilson, I'm not expecting much more than that. When you have a Max Crosby, when you have a Malcolm Kuntz, maybe a Christian Wilkins, you know, guys like Pegues, like Booker that could very well make this team. Like that kid Trayvon May, whatever the hell, however you say that, I apologize for butchering your name. Is gonna open some eyes. He's gonna open some eyes. He's gonna turn some heads. Mark my words. You heard it here first. Raiders Unleashed. These cats wait till the season starts. But Tyree Wilson, I was gonna say, if he gets 500 snaps, if he gets 500 pass rush snaps, I don't see that happening this year. Unless Christian Wilkins is on IR. And if he's on IR for the first 4 weeks, look for him not to be in the NFL playing in a Raider game until week 8. You have to get in shape. You have to get in football shape. He hasn't had a boot off for more than a couple weeks from what I understand. He hasn't been running. He hasn't been planting. He hasn't been walking. You have to get in football shape. This was his opportunity to get back into football shape this offseason, and he had a setback, and I really see it hurting Christian Wilkins. Hopefully it doesn't hurt the Raiders. I believe we have the depth finally for the first time in a long, long time. You know, in a very, very long time. We have the most depth that we've had. So Christian Wilkins is going to be missed. But I think it's going to hurt more paying him to not be out there than it is on the field. I think this guy comes out, you know, these kids come out and produce. Whether it has to be, you know, we can trade in guys every other snap with Jonah Lalu, with guys like JJ Pegues, Tonka Hemingway. You know, if you're swapping these guys out like the Philadelphia Eagles did, every 2 plays, bringing in a new, fresh body, man, this defensive line is going to be scary. So for me, for Tyree Wilson, if he had 348 pass rush snaps last year. On 165 run snaps, he was damn good. 524 snaps. If he gets 600 snaps and doesn't have at least 7 or 8 sacks with 20 tackles, I'll be disappointed, and I will agree that this dude ain't never going to be. I already agree he's never going to be what he was supposed to be at a 7th overall pick. But I will stop, you know, rooting for this kid, believing in this kid. My beliefs will be out the window, bro. You got to have at least 7 or 8 sacks. Like I said, if you get, 600 total snaps, your pass rushing grade has to go up into the 60s. Would like to see it in the 70s. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if him getting 500 snaps is possible. In fact, I know it's not possible at the edge position. Not with Ja Joyner, not with Jafari Harvey, who are both making this team, in my opinion. I just don't see Tyree Wilson getting the snaps to prove to this team that he deserves to get a big contract. So, with that being said, this very well could be the last year we see Tyree Wilson in a silver and black jersey. My message to Tyree Wilson, if you do hear this, because I'm going to tag you in it, man, follow JPJ and Max Crosby's steps. Be the first one in the building, the last one to leave. Learn everything you can from Max Crosby. Listen to this man. Don't think you know it all. Soak up, be a sponge, take in everything you could possibly take in. You have the best to do it. Also, show out when you get on the defensive line. Whether you're in the 3 spot, the 4 spot, the 5 spot, show them that's where you need to be. Let the coaches know you're better on the inside, man. He has that run grade for a reason. It's being on the inside. It's stopping the run. He was one of our best run stoppers. So I'm not giving up on him. But if he doesn't flash this year, which is rough because it takes players in the NFL, some guys 3-4 years. Now, let's talk about this. Malcolm Kuntz, right? Malcolm Kuntz. It took him 4 years, 4 in the NFL, before he got 8 sacks. Now, I know he was drafted in the 3rd round, 4th round, whatever it was. 3rd round, was it? Pretty high. He was drafted pretty high. I was shocked. However, it took him a while before he got the play time. Now, I know he wasn't drafted in the 1st round, and there's bigger expectations. There's more weight on your shoulders. But there shouldn't be when you draft a guy that has a foot injury that you know is not going to play in the 1st year. His 2nd year is going to be his rookie year. This year is really his sophomore year. Take all that into account. I think we need to give the man a little bit more time. But with the contract extension coming up, with that contract coming up, he got 2 more years, right? This is his 3rd year. Never mind. He's a 1st round draft pick. So you got till next year. So this year, bro, this year and next year. But you have to flash. You're going to have better than 5 sacks. Now, 5 sacks, Raider Nation is hating. I'm not hating on 5 sacks. If you're telling me Tyree Wilson with 300 pass rush attempts got 5 sacks, a fumble, and 6 assisted tackles and 19 solo, man, I'm taking that shit all day. I don't care where he was drafted. That's damn good numbers. If you're on a defensive line with a Max Crosby, a Christian Wilkins, Malcolm Kuntz, these guys are going to get double teamed. You should get open, or you should be dominant enough where you're creating double teams to get these guys open if you're not getting pressures. Now, he had 37 pressures last year. I believe that's very close to Max Crosby. Very, very close. I think Max was in the 40s last year in total pressures. Tyree Wilson, give him a chance. 1 full year last year. Still dealt with injuries. Wasn't completely healthy. Played on the left side because Max got hurt. Then had to go back to the right side. Or played on the right side because Malcolm Kuntz was hurt. Then had to go to the left side because Max was hurt. A position he's never played, hardly at all, if at all. Maybe in practice. So, I'm just saying, give Tyree Wilson a chance, man. I think he has a breakout year this year if he can get on the field and get the reps. And I believe with Christian Wilkins, if he misses time in the beginning of the season, Tyree Wilson needs to be in that spot. You need to put Tyree Wilson next to Max Crosby, a guy he's practiced with, a guy who's mentored him. Put them two next to each other and watch what happens on this defensive line. I believe Tyree Wilson will eat his ass off next to Max Crosby. His get off is getting faster. His footwork is getting better. He's getting healthy. He should be 100% ready to go. If Christian Wilkins can't, put him on the D line, man. Move him around. Mix it up. Let this kid get some burn. Again, he's got to earn it. I get all that. But if these kids in front of him, Raider Nation 510, appreciate you dropping in. You know, if these kids in front of him play like I think they're going to play, this could be his last year. It very well could. You're not going to win in the NFL on size and strength. The NFL has proven that to him. It's proven that to us. It's proven that to many, many players that thought they could come in and just dominate because of their strength and size. You have to have technique. You have to practice technique. You have to hone your craft. You have to get better at your technique. Find a move, whether it's a spin move, whether it's a swap move, whether it's a push and pull, whatever it is that you're best at, find that one move, work on it day and night, so you have another weapon to beat people with. And if Tyree Wilson could do that, I think he could be a good player in this league. But if he can't do that, he's not going to be a Raider next year. We have way too many big, strong, athletic guys with better technique, with more, just as much, if not more, upside. And I think that's the downfall for Tyree Wilson this year. So I pray for Tyree and whoever in the nation wants him to be a Raider, that these coaches can understand he's better on the defensive line. Let Ja Joyner on this team. Let Jafari Harvey on this team. We have 4 crazy, speedy, strong pass rushers. That's going to make all the difference in the world on this team. Put the man on the inside. Vegas be clubbing after we win. If I'm at that game, I'll be clubbing after we win. Whatever you have enough money to go to LA, overhyped stadium in Inglewood. Tailgate spot is called Thunder Alley. Right? Dix Insider knows all about that shit. The only guy I feel bad about not keeping is Spillane. I feel bad for what he did to the Raiders. Not did to the Raiders, but what he did for this organization. But man, he was, as much as I love Robert Spillane, he was just when it come to pass coverage, he was just a liability. Too many times we got beat over the middle. Too many times running backs caught a 5-yard slant out of the backfield and took it 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 yards to the house, or 50 yards up the field. That's linebackers not being able to cover. So I believe they overpaid Robert Spillane tremendously. I wish Robert Spillane all the best. I wish we could have kept him. I think it would have helped this team. But again, I think it hurts us in pass coverage. And he played way too many snaps, knowing that his weakness was pass coverage. They should have took him out on third downs here and there. Let Amari Gaynor get some snaps. See what he can do. Let Eichenberg, Luke Masterson last year, I thought was way better in coverage than some of the guys that we kept on the roster. So I'm mad he's gone. But for the money that, they paid him, I'm happy it wasn't us that paid him that much money. I think they overpaid. And I hope for our sake, because we play him the first game of the season, that the dude doesn't come out balling in week 1. I feel that after week 1, Spillane will regret not being here. Shout out to my guy Frank Weber. Now you have a crown, number 2. I don't know what the crowns mean, but I'm gonna figure that shit out. But yeah, Frank Weber says Spillane's gonna regret not being here. I think Spillane already regrets not being here. I think he wanted to be here from day one. I don't think he ever wanted to leave. The man wanted to wear the silver and black. He's talked about it. He's, the fans loved him. He had a great relationship with PG. He had a great relationship with Robbie Leonard. So I think he already regrets it. But you're right. Lawrence, my guy. Lawrence E, what's good, what's good. Yeah, I think he'll regret it a little bit more when he sees how good this offense is going to be. And the fact that he's going to have to try to cover Brock Bowers or Ashton Genty out of the backfield. I feel sorry for Robert Spillane. I feel sorry for every linebacker in the NFL this year. Talk that shit. Rick Rock, what's good? What's good? Deleted your message. Okay, well. Frank, yeah, I think so too, but we didn't get slightly, but he did get slightly overpaid. Yep, see, we're on the same page. I think that's what gets me bad about Tyree Wilson. He has the tools. That's the problem, though. I don't think he has the tools. I think he has the strength. I think he has the size. The speed can get there, but he don't have any moves. He's not working on his technique. Like, he's going to the defensive line camps with Max Crosby. He's with Max Crosby in the building. You see him running neck and neck, trying to keep up the energy. He was the guy trying to keep the energy when Max was injured last year. So, I like Tyree. I really like Tyree, but I think he just needs to get some more tools in that tool belt, bro. You got to have different weapons in your bag, and I just don't see him with any except for that bull rush. That bull rush is people know what's coming. They've seen that shit a million times. But yeah, it irritates me too that he's not, trying to perfect anything or even use anything. Like, really, if we look at film, it's the same move over and over and over again. Constantly. Like, he has a little swim move, maybe if he's on the edge. If he's on the defense, if he's on the defensive line, it's basically just trying to push guys back into the quarterback. So if he can, work on his shit, hone some of them skills, I think he'll be all right. It's only Tyree's third year on his contract, so we still got 2 years left of his rookie deal. Yeah, I corrected myself, but appreciate you. Yeah, it's his third year, so he's got next year and then a 5th-year option, and I can see him getting let go. He is making like $6 million a year. I mean, he's making more than Adam Butler, right? Adam Butler signed 3-4 years for 16 mil. I do believe Tyree's making like 6 something. He was a first-round pick, so do the Raiders continue to pay him that next year if he doesn't at least get 7-8 sacks, dominant in the run game, which we need him to be? It's a huge question. It's a huge question. Rick Rock, salute to you, my guy. We definitely had his faults. But I'm just sold on the linebacker room we have. I was like, it just stopped. I mean, you could say the same thing about the linebacker room as the cornerback room, right? It's hard to be sold on these guys. I know Elandon Roberts was a top 5 run defender on PFF. He was that dude. That's what we need. But when it comes to pass coverage, who's going to step up? Now, if you're asking me, I believe it's Cody Lindenberg. I think Cody Lindenberg plays this year. I think he gets on the field a lot more than people think. Also, a guy like Matt Jones. I think Matt Jones can surprise some people. Shout out to my guy Alex. Austin Rogers, what's good? Appreciate you dropping in. Unleashing addiction with the $2 holla. Appreciate you. Like it that the sound's working now. Better. Did I get the $3 thumbs up? Tyree Wilson is an elite talent. So many non-believers. I wouldn't say elite talent. He has elite size and elite strength. The talent is the reason he's not on the field so much, I think. I missed that earlier. I think that's what gets got that. Unleashing addiction with the 99 cent 100%. Appreciate you dropping bombs in the building today. Damn. Tyree Wilson is trying to perfect the Dwight Freeney spin move. Now, that's something to talk about, Raider Nation 510. If he can perfect that, this man is scary, right? It gives him a weapon in his arsenal, right? That spin move, get your offensive lineman off balance, going one way, you whip back on him. He has this, the strength and the power that if he can get a guy rocking and whip that spin move, it could be nasty, bro. It could be devastating. To me, I would like to see him, just work on that Max Crosby, that big ass swim move. Just reach over and just, as soon as they go to grab you, boom, your hand's gone. You're shoving that shoulder. The dude's off balance and you're gone, right? He has the power to do that. He has more power than Max Crosby. He's stronger than Max Crosby. Let's be honest. Use your strength to your ability. I know they're teaching him technique. Like, come on. First thing a tackle is gonna do if you're playing on the outside and the end, right, is get their hands up. They're gonna step to the side and they're gonna put their hands up. They're gonna try to get their hands on you to get a hold of you so they control your movement. If you can swat that first hand away and hit that arm or that shoulder, you're not gonna do it off balance. You already won, right? You're getting to the quarterback or you're stopping the run. So if he can work on moves like that, Tyree Wilson, he has a chance to be nasty. Everybody says it's slow get off. I can't show film on here because they keep flagging me for the shit, NFL. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to do it. 30-second clips ain't enough to show what I need to show. I see people doing it on the live. I don't know if their shit's just not monetized or what it is. Anyways, I'll figure it out. But the film I watched, the practices I've watched, I've seen Tyree Wilson getting off the ball just as fast as Max Crosby, just as fast as Malcolm Kuntz. That first step might not be as fast, but when your hand's in the dirt, that initial lunge and that get up, he's beating guys off the line. It's getting better. It's getting there, right? It's baby steps. It's coming. So, yeah. Linebacker room, though. Robert Spillane, not here. He talked very highly of Tommy Eichenberg. He talked about Luke Masterson. He said was going to be an all-pro someday that we let go. Then we bring in a guy that kind of reminds me of a Luke Masterson, but he's faster. He's more physical. He's a way better tackler. And Cody Lindenberg. If you haven't watched film on Cody Lindenberg, subscribe to the channel. Become a member. On the members live, I'll be dropping Cody Lindenberg film. You're not going to want to miss it. The kid, he's nasty, bro. He's nasty. I'm not going to throw comparisons out there because some people get mad. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care if you get mad. The kid reminds me, and no, he's not and never will be, but he's got that Ray Lewis nose for the football. Doesn't have the strength, the speed, the knowledge yet, but the nose for the football, his football instincts, right? He was only a linebacker for, I think, a year, half a year, whatever, in Minnesota before they bumped him up to the starting job. Once he got the starting job, dude, he never looked back. He just progressed every single game. And I went back and watched from the first game he took over to the second game, the third game. Every game, this kid got better, and I believe he's going to do the same thing in the NFL. You got damn good linebacker coaches. Cody Lindenberg is going to be somebody to remember, a name, a jersey that people are going to want to buy. I'm telling you. The kid is physical as hell. He hits like a truck. He can get skinny to get through, the big ass offensive linemen, the center, the guard position. You can run him through the A gap, through the B gap, C gap. It doesn't matter where you blitz this guy. He's getting to the quarterback. He's going around tackles. He's that fast that, he can just outrun tackles and run around them from the outside. Cody Lindenberg is going to be special. I'm not saying this year. If it's this year, hey, great. Just a little bit ahead. But watch out for this man. Remember that name, dude. Cody Lindenberg. And then, like I said, guys like Matt Jones, Amari Gaynor. Amari flipping Gaynor. If it's not this year, I'll be surprised. This kid is going to be on a lot of packages. I'm not going to say starting linebacker, but I feel mid-season, he could be taking that step where they're like, dude, we cannot get this guy off the grass. Taking him off the grass is just bad for our defense. I believe Amari Gaynor is going to get to that point. Nobody works like this kid. This kid is, Amari Ferrari. He's 100 miles per hour. He has that Max Crosby motor. The kid wants to dominate. He has the work ethic. He has the strength. Former UDFA, so he has that chip on his shoulder of wanting to show everybody, damn, I was undrafted and y'all made a mistake. That's Amari flipping Gaynor. He's pretty good in coverage. He's played edge. He's played, outside linebacker. But where I believe he is best, and people keep calling me wrong, it's Mike linebacker. I think he has the intelligence to put people in the right position. If not, if you put him next to Cody Lindenberg, that's two freakish linebackers that makes our linebacker room 100 times better than it is. But they have to be able to take that next step and do it very quickly. And I believe they have the coaching staff, the coaches and the players around them, the veterans around them to develop these guys, overnight, so to say. A lot of these guys are already, they just need to get the timing, right? Learn the playbook. They already have the speed, the strength, the athleticism to play in the NFL. Some of these guys have bigger chips on their shoulders because they were undrafted, like Tank Booker, like Trevin Mai. He's got ton, man. I cannot speak enough on how impressed I was with these defensive linemen, bro. The chatting and sending super chats. Oh, cool. It's based on the XP, so they are most active and sending super chats. Sweet. Shout out to my mods taking care of business. Jalen Smith, Eldon Roberts will ball out too. Landon Roberts, he wears the C on his chest. He got that green dot. He's going to be that guy. But he's 32 years old, which doesn't say shit, because when I was 32, I was in the prime of my life. I would work 12 hours a day. I was running circles around fools. But in the NFL, man, playing linebacker, you're constantly butting heads with these big-ass offensive linemen that are double your size. It's a lot of wear and tear on the body. But Landon Roberts is that guy. A lot of people sleep on his pass coverage. It wasn't the best grade. But he makes plays in pass coverage. He's not constantly getting burnt out there like toast. Jalen Smith. Once a Raider, always a Raider. Welcome back, Jalen Smith. I liked the kid when he was here. He showed a couple flashes. There's a reason they brought him back. I hope that reason is because he wants to jump in, and produce. get on the grass, whether it's special teams, whether it's you know, kickoffs, it doesn't matter, goal line situations. These guys want to play, they want to get on the grass, and you know, Jalen Smith, another guy that is decent at tackling. He's decent at wrapping up. You know, he has good instincts also. We have linebackers, bro. We have linebackers. We just don't have big name linebackers. That's the problem. A lot of people overlook a lot of these guys on our team. And if you look at their PFF grades, they're not very great, right? But I don't really always go off of PFF grades. It says a lot about a player. But their grades, you know, are horrible sometimes. Like, they had Andre James graded as a 72 last year. So, not always going with PFF grades, right? They don't always hit it on the money. But you have to take their grades into consideration. And their snaps, you know, and their stats. Having Max as a tool, though, having Max as a weapon, bro, that's a damn tank. So, yeah, if he can own that shit, it's good. Tyree Wilson also getting double teamed last year. Facts. 100% facts, Raider Nation 510. He ate up a lot of double teams because Max Crosby wasn't out there. Malcolm Kuntz wasn't out there. Christian Wilkins wasn't out there. And it was basically Tyree Wilson, John Jenkins, no pass rush. John Jenkins, Jonah Lalu, undrafted free agent, you know, that Vegas boy they brought in. And then guys like Caleb Von Chasen, a first round pick that never really did shit and came to us getting cut by a team like the Carolina Panthers. Most of us in Raider Nation had to been like, what? Who the hell is Caleb Von Chasen? And why are we signing him if the Carolina Panthers cut him? He wasn't good enough to make that team. So, Tyree did get a lot of double team. Like I said, he was kind of the veteran. But his snaps were way higher until Caleb Von Chasen got there. When Caleb Von Chasen got in the building, it was done for him, right? It was done. His snaps dropped, his productions dropped. They put him on defensive, you know, try to take that Christian Wilkins spot more. But when you're that big and you have arm length like that, you know, I'll take Tyree Wilson getting double teamed all day. If you put him out there next to Max Crosby and they're like, damn, who we double teaming? You double team Max, that leaves him one-on-one. Tyree Wilson is going to eat a guard all day long, I think. Now, a tackle, that's a different story, right? Those guys are just bigger, physical, you know, stronger. Guards a little bit more athletic, a little faster. Tyree Wilson should, you know, especially if they're smaller guards, should be able to eat on those guys all day. Centers too, I would think, would, you know, be better for him. So, how's your night, Rebel? $2 holla. My night's going great, Unleashing Addiction. How is your night going? Hope all is well. Hey, I'm to the bottom of the chat. Thank God. Jalen Walker looks more athletic than Matt Jones. Jalen Walker does look very athletic. And Matt Jones is, I never said he was athletic. He's that Max Crosby run stopper, right? He's that guy that has a nose for the ball. He's better in the run game. He's not really a pass rush specialist. He's not great in coverage. He's mostly see ball, get ball type guy, right? You don't want to give him too many things. You put him on the field, you'd be like, all right, this is going to be a pass play. Go get the quarterback, right? This is going to be a run play. Go get the running back. He's good at that. Athleticism-wise, you know, not great in coverage. Not very athletic. But, yeah, you're right. Jalen Walker is definitely more athletic than Matt Jones. He might be even more athletic than Jalen Smith also. I kind of want to see what this kid has. Definitely Jalen Walker. I kind of liked him too. Michael Barrett adds a lot of competition. I'm kind of questionable on Michael Barrett. I don't know why a guy like Jim Harbaugh, you know, who coached him for 2 or 3 years at Michigan, wouldn't have him on his team. Time for bed. James Furpo, you have a good night, my brother. Stay blessed. Appreciate you rocking with us this long. But Michael Barrett is another guy like the Matt Jones guy. A lot of these linebackers we've brought in are run-stopping linebackers. But hold up. Before you panic, hey you, what's good? Shout out for the $2 holla. Unleashing addiction. Stop breaking your bank. What are you doing? Just being here, man. Just being here is good for me. I'm not sure what keeps happening, but YouTube keeps kicking me off your channel. And you're giving me money? Super chats? Bro. I'll give you my Cash App. Check it out. Let me post my Cash App on here. Send money to Cash App. Because if YouTube keeps kicking you, don't be giving them their 30%. Damn. Just saying. Just saying. But that's fucked up. I appreciate you keep coming back. And I don't know why they're kicking you. If it's your internet, if it's my internet, is anybody else having problems in the chat? Let me know. They keep saying the page is... What is that word? Snapeated? Oh. Well, I was like, what the hell is a snapeated? What does snapped mean? I don't know what that means either. Yeah. So got to the bottom of the chat. Thank God. This year there is no excuse for Tyree Wilson to show what he was worth for the silver or black, and also worth it to Max. I agree. It's got to be the year, but it is only his 3rd year, and being your 3rd year in the NFL, having a year where you only played 6 games your 1st year, having 1 full season in the NFL, going into your 2nd full season, I think you just have to give him a little bit more time. Some people are slow developers. I don't believe, like I said, he's ever going to develop in to being worthy of where he was picked. But if he can just stop the run, like these linebackers we brought in, there's for a reason. Our biggest weakness is passes over the middle and stopping the run. That's why every linebacker we've brought in are run-stopping linebackers that can tackle. We've brought in 1 or 2 that can cover. Again, I think, you know, a guy like Cody Lindenberg might be one of the best coverage guys. Amari Gaynor. Also Jalen Smith, you know, which is not saying much for our coverage if those are our top 3 guys. However, if Tyree Wilson could get more reps, like I said, on the defensive line instead of the edge, I believe he will show a lot more worthiness of being picked in the 1st round. It keeps saying snap for sure. Your camera, it must be. Sorry, Piano Man. That's why. I don't know. Is anybody else shit messed up? I've been on here talking this long and my shit's been messed up the whole time. Nobody told me. It's fucked up. So yeah, man, that's what I got. That's what I got for tonight's show. If y'all got any questions, any comments, let me know. I'm gonna leave it with this. This will be the pinned comment of the show afterwards. What do you, Raider Nation, need to see at a Tyree Wilson this year for him to make it to his 4th year? Because I believe if Tyree Wilson does not show out this year and have better production, get more time on the grass, learn better technique, I believe they might not even be willing to roll the dice and gamble going into the 4th year. I'm kind of feeling right now that keeping Tyree Wilson on the team this year, and I hate to say it, and I hope he proves me wrong, but I'm feeling that keeping Tyree Wilson on the team this year could possibly be a mistake. Look for him to be traded. Look for him to be cut, released, or be bottom of the depth chart, like some of these guys like Matthew Butler were last year before he got cut, like some of these other cats were before they got cut. There's too many guys on this roster. Yeah, I bet. You know, like I said, there's too many guys on this roster like Andre Carter, like Charles Snowden, like Ja Joyner, even Ove Ogulfawa showed a little bit last year, right? So let me know what y'all need to see from Tyree Wilson for him to remain on the team for 2026. Is it 10 sacks? Is it 8 sacks? Is it 30 tackles and 5 sacks? You know, is it 40 pressures instead of the 37 he got? Let me know in the comments after the show ends. Pop in, hit the like, show some love. Tickle the noti button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all. I'm out. Much love. Raiders. Thanks for watching, my nation. Love y'all. Peace. And Unleashing Addiction, man. Shout out for keeping the chat going, for keeping the vibes, for donating to your guy, for keeping the lights on, and helping this stream just get better and better and better as we grow.